In this video, we are going to learn about Java pattern program. So basically, this is a pattern that we need to print on the console. So this is a logical question where the interviewer mostly checks how you think to analyze this particular problem, right? So as we have seen, this is a pattern that we need to implement in our Java code. So what do you understand by seeing this particular pattern? So here we could think like in first row, okay, this is our first row. We have only a single star, right? In the second row, we have two stars. In the third row, we have three stars. In the fourth row, we have four stars. So here the logic is there are, let's say, four rows, and for four rows in each row the number of stars will be equal to the row, right? In the first row there is only one star, in the second row two stars, in the third row three stars, in the fourth row four star. And how many lines are printed here? These are the lines that we want as a row. Let's say you want four rows, so there will be four lines, right? So we will have a for loop that will keep track, okay, that will keep track of number of rows. Now let's see in our demo. So what we will do, we will have one variable here, okay, int row. And this row, let's say we have four. So four rows we want to print. So what we can do, we can have here a for loop for int I is equal to 1. It will start from 1 and it will be less than equal to our row, okay. And then we will say I plus plus. And inside this for loop, we will just print a message now, sys out, and we will say here row. Let's print a message here row, and then we will print the value of I. So what do you think what it will print? Let's run this code now. So you could see here we are able to track the rows. So we are having here four rows and we are able to print here till 4. So this will be our row 1, then row 2, then row 3, then row 4. And now what we want now stars inside each row. And what is the logic here? For first row it should have only a one star, in second row it should have a two stars, right? So again we will have a for loop here. Now let's print a for loop again inside this each row, and here I will say int j, and j will have a value of 1 initially. Then we will say j is less than equal to I. Why we are saying here j is less than equal to I? Because I is the current row, right? And we want stars equal to the value of row. That means in the first row we will have one star, in the second row two stars, third row three stars. So the stars should be equal to number of rows. So that's why we are saying a j should be less than equal to I, and then we will increment the value of j plus plus. And inside this for loop, what we will do, we will print here a star. So what we will do, we will say here sys out. Now let's run this code. See, now here we are saying here in the first row we will have one star, in the second row we will have two stars, in the third row we will have three stars, in the fourth row we will have four stars. Now here we don't need to print this statement, right? This we printed initially to keep the track of number of rows here. So what is happening in this case? Initially the value of I is 1. So 1 is less than 4, right? Because row is having the value 4. So it will go inside this for loop. So j is 1. So 1 is less than equal to 1, right? And then it will print the star. So a single star will be printed. Then the value of j will be increased to 2. But the value of I is still 1. So j 2 is not less than equal to 1, right? So it will come out of this particular for loop and it will print a message, this one. So we are getting here row 1. Second time the value of I will be incremented to 2. Now again the j is initialized to 1. So it will print 2 stars, right? For first time, then second time. So it has printed 2 stars. When the value of j will be 3, then I is 2 and j is 3. So 3 is not less than equal to 2, right? Again it will come out of this for loop and it will print row 2. So I don't want this line here. And now if I run this code, we will get the pattern. Okay. So what has happened? All the stars are printed in single line. So once we come from each row, what we will do? We will just print a println statement. We will get it to the next line. If I run this code now see, we are able to get the pattern that was expected, right? So now if I increase the row to 5, then it will print 5 rows, and in the fifth row we will have a 5 stars. Here you could see 5. So any number of rows you can implement now. Let's say 7. We will get here 7 row, and in the last row we will have a 7 stars. So this is a pattern that we have implemented. So simple logic, right? There should be two for loops. So first for loop will keep the track of number of rows, and second for loop will print the stars equal to the row, and row will have the values inside this I for each iteration. So simple logic to remember, you need to make use of two for loops. The first loop will keep track of number of rows, and second loop will keep track of each stars in each row. So that's how you implement the pattern here with this simple logic.